Flying is a different experience every single time you get into the sky. From my vantage point, as a commercial pilot, as a corporate pilot, every mission is different. It might be just a quick trip down to New Orleans, or it might be to Mexico, where the preparation is half of the fun. The getting there, the sitting in the cockpit, the camaraderie. I don't just hire pilots. I hire somebody who's passionate, and I'll take passion over flying skill any day of the week.
Julie Victor, runway 18, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 18, Julie Victor.
It's a great time to become a pilot right now because we're at the pinnacle of a shortage. The government allowed pilots to fly till they were 65 instead of 60, but that 5-year extension is about to run out.
80 knots. Roger, roger. D1. Rotate. Gears up. Gulfstream 1 Julie Victor, contact ready to depart. We'll see y'all later. 1 Julie Victor, have a good day.
I'm Katharine Franco, and today we're at JetVue, an industry leader in private and luxury transportation, headquartered in Denton, Texas, where I'll be asking Chris Hill, how do I become a pilot? With over 16,000 hours in the cockpit and more than 38 years flying around the globe, he's type-rated in 9 different aircraft. Chris Hill is a first-class expert in aviation.
South for 10 and ground front end. I left to 140, so I got 22 left.
So why do you fly?
The adventure, the freedom to never know what's going to happen the next day, the getting up in the morning and you've got this whole world ahead of you. You're going to prepare an aircraft to take off and take some special people somewhere in the world, and everything you do is surrounded about getting them there safely, and they depend on you completely. After I've done all my pre-checks on the aircraft, I walk around the airplane one last time, and then I always put my hand on the front of the nose of the plane and said, let's be safe. That's my routine. And then we get in and we go. If you're going to want to be a pilot in today's complex environment, it's no longer a simple road. It's a very expensive road. It's a very complicated, mathematical, systems-oriented adventure you're going to go on. So it's not going to be easy. There are going to be a lot of glass ceilings. You're going to ask yourself many times, is this what I really want to do? And you better be passionate before you start. If this is what you're going to do, you better commit to it, and you better commit to it for life, because that's what it takes.
So how much does it cost to become a pilot?
Well, it used to be reasonably priced. Now, a private pilot's license is going to average you about $9,000. You need roughly 40 plus hours to get your pilot's license to qualify, and then based on your skill level, it's going to cost you whatever it takes for you to solo and whatever it takes you to get through your check ride. I would say in evaluating how to become a pilot now, ultimately the cheapest way would be to buy yourself a small aircraft. Cessna 182, 172, 152, something small. You've got an investment in the airplane, but it's something you're going to be able to resell. So you fly, build your time, find yourself a good instructor, and just start building that time. I am one of the odd ones that took a different path to get where we are sitting here today. I painted airplanes, I bought airplanes, I flew all over the country, hired an instructor to get to the next rating, did it through VHS tape, did it through DVDs, and just kept climbing the ladder and climbing the ladder. When I am teaching somebody and I try to teach them how to become a good pilot, I say, close your eyes, stretch your arms out. Now feel the airplane around you, make it part of you, feel it in your butt, feel it in your legs. You're part of the sensation. Those that can embrace that are the ones that go a long way in being a pilot. Once you get that first jet job, then you move along in the right seat, build some time. Hopefully you get to go to school, get type rated in the aircraft, move to the left seat, and then from there you're on your way. It's a great time to become a pilot right now because we're at the pinnacle of a shortage. The government allowed pilots to fly till they were 65 instead of 60, but that 5-year extension is about to run out. Things are changing, pay is increasing, and they'll have an opportunity to do, if they're passionate about it, do exactly what I've been fortunate enough to do.
The average cost to get a pilot license is about $9,000. Here's some of the top schools in the country to launch your career as a pilot. A variety of scholarships are available to non-collegiate, collegiate, and minority students seeking a career in aviation. And here's some helpful tips. Study at home. Don't be intimidated by flying. Flying the aircraft isn't the hard part. Utilize the resources that many aviation associations offer. Some are free. So I've earned my pilot license. What's next?
You're going to want to get your commercial license, get your instrument rating, and then from there you'll have to build time. The FAA has changed the rules, so you'll now need 1,500 hours of total time before you're going to be able to even contemplate getting your air transport pilot license, which you would need to get a charter job or an airline job. But in the meantime, there's lots of other jobs you could take in between that.
What about medical requirements?
I carry a first-class medical. I have a medical examination every 6 months, and because of my age, that involves having an EKG as well, and of course there's vision considerations and things like that.
The FAA regularly tests pilots' health to ensure that they are safe to fly a plane. Here's a list of health exams that are administered.
The structured school, the 141 school, has a very direct approach, and there are timelines and guidances you will make as you carry through your curriculum. I never had an inspiration to be an airline pilot. I originally thought I might want to be a bush pilot, and that segued into wanting to fly helicopters, which has now segued into helicopters and corporate flying. For me, it was really strange. I landed, the instructor said, well, I think it's time you go around the patch on your own. I said, okay, and I almost pushed him out the door. He closed the door, I locked it, taxied back, I took off, and the strangest feeling came over me as I was climbing out, and I can remember looking out the right side, and I'm climbing out, and I actually muttered the words, finally, I'm on my own again. I don't know where that came from, but for me, I was meant to be in the air.
What kind of salary can a pilot expect?
Let's say you're flying for the airlines, $30,000 average. It's not a high-paying start, and you'll do it for quite a while, and you'll fly the line for quite a while. I would say a good base salary for a seasoned pilot would be $150,000 and escalating from there. Bonuses and profit sharing, things like that. Aircraft are becoming more complex, requiring more training. So a young person is going to have more of a video game experience flying a new aircraft versus a stick and rudder experience, which I have been my whole life.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the median annual pay for pilots is $114,200. The top 10% earn more than $187,200. Visit BLS.gov for more information on what you can expect to earn as a pilot. Future in aviation flying? Where's the industry going?
The industry is going automated. More and more of the aircraft are being built with fly-by-wire systems. The stick and rudder technology, while it is still there, it's being transformed from a yoke to a side stick. Computers are taking over. The pilot has 1 vote, the computer has 3 votes. I don't think we're long before we see certainly in my lifetime, where we get down to a single pilot in the cockpit and multiple computers. I doubt very much in my lifetime, however, we'll see the fully pilot removed from the cockpit completely. But automation is a big part of the industry right now. Because the industry has grown so much, we need such a large number of pilots. Unfortunately, being a pilot is about having good judgment. And when you don't have good judgment, you don't have good pilots. In the commercial industry and flying airlines and flying basically on a commercial schedule, you will be visiting the simulator every 6 months for a line check, a flight check. They'll check your landing abilities and various levels of instrument conditions and your proficiency. You're flying passengers for hire, and you've got their lives in your hands.
Is there a gap in the aviation industry that needs to be filled?
Like we talked about earlier, there is a gap in up-and-coming pilots. It's expensive. It requires commitment. And I'm a little concerned that we're going to have a hard time filling those gaps, not just in the pilot industry, but in the avionics industry, the guys who put in the radios, and in the mechanics, the A&P side. We have a large number of A&P slots that we're desperate to be filled. I would hire 2 myself right now if there were good quality A&P mechanics out there.
What are some of the challenges you personally faced with becoming a pilot? Coming up, we get one-on-one with Chris Hill.
One of the joys of being a pilot is that moment in time when you're sitting in the cockpit. and you're at 45,000 feet. You've just come out of San Francisco and you're leveling off, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Florida, and you're watching the sun come up, and you see the curvature of the earth where you're at the edge of space. And it's an incredible feeling to know that you're seeing something that nobody else is seeing. I would say the hardest challenge I faced was finally looking in that mirror and saying, okay, you want to be a pilot, you're going to have to put the time and the effort in. You're going to make a full commitment to this. That means tuning everything else out and going for it. That was the hardest challenge I faced. If this is something you really, really want to do, hang around an airport. See if it's what you want to do. Grab a video. I want learning to fly. Maybe grab a lesson plan. See if you're cut out to put the lesson plan work into action. Talk to a few flight instructors. Visit a school. See if it's somewhere you want to habitate for the next year. And then above all, be honest with yourself. Try to draw out a plan. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is what I want to do, and see what bounces back. The real key to success in this game and this business and this adventure is try to visualize yourself in the cockpit of whatever it is you want to be. If it's in a Gulfstream, a Challenger, a Learjet, or a 747 or a 787, put yourself in that position. Put yourself in a captain's uniform in your head. Close your eyes. See if you can visualize yourself doing that. And if you can truly do that, then your chances of success are much greater. Age does have its perks, and knowing when to go and when to stay is one of them. So there's not a lot I would change. I think the past, the hard knocks growing up and doing those jobs that you really don't want to do has been good, because I believe if you remember where you came from, you know where you're going. There was only one time where I took a serious walk and thought about maybe we won't get through this recession. It was a fleeting moment, and my pride and my resourcefulness were far too great to say, no, we're not cashing this in. I have two fears. One is failure. And the other fear is not completing everything I've wanted to start before this game, this life is over. I would say perseverance, many people would say, is my greatest gift. Somebody once said that I have an iron will, and that's if I see something and I visualize myself doing it, it will happen. The happy ending in the story is the business continues. Those who work for me have jobs, and if we decide one day to sell the company, I get to give everybody that's helped build the business a nice paycheck, and they all get to live and pursue their own dreams.
Gulfstream 1 Julie Victor, contact ready to depart. We'll see you all later. 1 Julie Victor, have a good day.
Visit FuturesightTV.com/HowDoIBecome for more from Chris Hill on becoming a pilot and resources discussed in this episode. If you know of a career that would be great for the show, let us know at experts@FuturesightTV.com.